Genuinely, man. Thank God. My hatred for Arsenal is really is really paying off. You know what I'm saying? Because thank God Arsenal didn't win this EFL final. I don't want them to win any trophy for the next 30 years. Personally, obviously that's not going to happen. They're probably going to win the Premier League this season. They will probably. They will. It's so hard to even say they will win it. Does that make sense? Like, if it's not mathematically set in stone, I just do not want. I just can't bring myself to believe that they will win it. However, it's so good to see Arsenal lose 2-0 to Man City the way they did. It's so good because God forbid Arsenal win anything. My hatred for Arsenal, thank God, it's just paying off. It's just paying off. And yes, I will suffer if they win the Premier League. Yes, I understand that. But for right now, we can all smile. Me and you, we can all smile in peace. We can all smile and hate on some Arsenal fans because they don't deserve to win anything for the next 30 years, 35 years, honestly. Because I said so. They just don't. They just don't, honestly. But I think, in all jokes aside, Arsenal are probably going to win the league. They deserve it. They were the best team this season, even though the manner by which they win it is very questionable. But regardless. But I think what this game showed us was just how much of a difference there is between Manchester City and Arsenal in terms of mentality. I think when it comes to player quality, I would probably still I want to give the edge to Arsenal, just watching them throughout the season. However, if you watch this game, you wouldn't think Arsenal are first in the Premier League. You would not. You would think you would think Man City has already won the league and Arsenal are chasing Champions League football, genuinely. Because I don't know where Arsenal went for this game. No one was there. Gyökeres, I don't know if he ever touched the ball. He did, but barely. He didn't do much. He was basically non-existent. All right, he was basically non-existent. Declan Rice, people are hyping up Declan Rice, Premier League player of the season. He's up there in the Premier League, but in this game he was nowhere to be found. Right? You had players. Let's go ahead and look at the lineup. Let's see who was there, because honestly, they're all gone. I mean, if you look at the ratings. Man City green. Arsenal only Saliba at 7.2. The rest are just Zubamendi, nothing. Rice, nothing. Gabriel, nothing. Havertz, nothing. Jesus came on. He did a little bit. I remember. Gyökeres, nothing. Trossard was non-existent. Saka, Lord have mercy. You see, these players just did not show up when they needed them the most, and that's the issue with Arsenal. All right, they're a good team for right now when it comes to winning all these odd games, playing in the league. But when it comes to the final, they just don't have that mentality yet. Credit to Arsenal, they are a fantastic team. I will say that. This experience of losing this final will help them grow, and I do think there's a good chance that this would help them win even more. They might go on to win the Champions League. I can't believe I just said that, but they might go on to win the Champions League. They will probably win the FA Cup. I hope they don't. I'll be watching that too. But they probably will go ahead and win the FA Cup because of this experience. Defeat breeds champions. Ultimately, you can never really push to that champion level mentality until you actually manage to win one. And that's what City has done time and time again. And despite them not playing well this season for their standards, they're still second in the Premier League. But despite them not playing that well for their season, they still managed to shine so bright in this final. And that's because of the mentality of the manager. That's because of the mentality of the coaching staff, the team in general. The mentality that they have inherited. Obviously, you have Turkey's new. Doku's still new, a little bit. You have Semenyo, obviously hasn't won shit in his whole career. I don't know. I actually don't know. But I don't think he has. I think that was... The commentator mentioned it was like his first final or whatever he's been in. You have a lot of Nunez, Nico O'Reilly. You have a lot of... not Nico O'Reilly. What's his name? O'Reilly? Yeah, his name is Nico Riley. I tweaked. Nico O'Reilly. I tweaked. But you had Nico O'Reilly, right? All these players that are inheriting that mentality from the Rodri, from the Silva, Bernardo Silva. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Damn, that's really it. Who else? Who else is in the squad? From Pep Guardiola. You have these players coming in, inheriting it, and you can feel that mentality. Despite not playing that well in the league, for their standards, they showed up to this final and played like absolute champions. And credit to Man City for that. If you look at the statistics, I mean, it tells you everything you need to know. Lord have mercy, they schooled Arsenal. Arsenal were just non-existent. All right, now those 2 goals, we have to talk about the Kepa mistake. Is it harsh to say that Kepa, yes, he could have done better, but I think it's also harsh to blame him for that goal. I think his defenders need to have his back a little more there, right? Because first of all, you have a ball fizzed at him at such a height. Do you know how long it has to take a goalkeeper to stretch to reach that, right? I don't know why I just demonstrated that shit, but at such a height that it's just tough. Like, it's tough to get that. That's a hard ball. I wouldn't really expect him to catch it. I expect him to maybe parry it. But when it's at that height, where do you parry it to? It's always going to land somewhere near him. Like, you have to be someone like a Courtois or Donnarumma to really be catching that. You can't really. I don't know the height of Kepa. I actually don't know his height. Let me check his height, because for me, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him. How high is he? Damn, 31? He's 31? That's crazy. That's crazy. I did not think he was that crazy. 6'2", yeah. Nah, yeah. It's tough. I don't blame him for not catching that, and maybe that speaks to the quality of goalkeeper that he is and his limit as a goalkeeper, but I think it's harsh to blame him for that goal. That being said, ultimately, he does need to do better. He does need to do better. But I think more so than him needing to do better, I mean, his defense needs to have his back. To allow O'Reilly to get ahead to that, I think his defense needs to do better. But if you look at possession, I mean, Man City completely controlled the game. Look at expected goals. Arsenal had 0.63, Man City had 1.51. All right. Arsenal had 38% possession, Man City 62. All right. I mean, they schooled them. Total shots were equal. Shots on target, Arsenal were higher. Big chances equal. Big chances missed. Man City missed less. Accurate passes, Man City had more passes. Corners were the same. So overall, it was a relatively even game, I guess, when you look at the stats. But when you watch that game, you could tell that Man City really had them on the back foot for almost the whole game. At one point, I was watching that game and I was like, wow, I feel like Arsenal should be doing a lot better here. Arsenal, they really haven't had the ball that much, right? It was really surprising. I thought Arsenal would be a lot better, and I think that just goes to show. And I think they had a few more gears to go. They definitely could have played better, but I think that just goes to show the difference in mentality between these two teams. A team that has won the Premier League multiple times, a team that has won the treble. I'm a United fan. I'm not trying to hype up City that much, but I'm just saying a team that has won Premier Leagues, FA Cups, Champions Leagues, trebles. You can see the difference between them and a team who hasn't won jack shit since 2019. So you can see the difference. And I think Arsenal just aren't quite there yet. They're getting there. They're almost there. Obviously, second place 3 seasons in a row. This season, they're probably going to get first. And I think once that happens and they actually win, I think that's when you start to see the shift in their mentality. That's when you start to really consider them, a big team. Because even in Champions League, like, yes, Arsenal are a big team, but no one really looks at Arsenal and goes, yeah, for sure, they'll win it. Not the same way you look at Real Madrid. Not the same way that we now look at PSG. And I wouldn't even say that we look at them the way we look at Barca, just because history speaks. Does that make sense? Because they're just not quite there yet. But I think if they do win this Premier League, I think they have levels to go. So that's one thing I will give Arsenal, is that they do have gears to go. But as of right now, they're not quite there yet. City schooled them. City showed them who the boss was, genuinely. So, hey, credit to City for winning EFL Cup. It's just the EFL Cup, but cup's a cup. And hopefully Arsenal actually don't win the league and they choke. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and go ahead and leave a like. That helps a ton. Go ahead and subscribe as well. Our goal is to hit 200 subscribers next. We're at 101. Thank you guys for subscribing. Let's get to 200. That would be fantastic. But that's all I got for you guys, and peace.